Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Cancer, tonight our card is the Ace of Cups. We have maybe some emotional stuff going on. Okay, and let's see what these tea leaves have to say. So whenever I see that Ace of Cups, I know it's like the beginning of something passionate, something that is making you feel really big feelings, right? And yeah, when I started even getting ready for this reading, I was like, my goodness, something has kind of almost erupted in your life. I can feel like it's like you've been on a certain course and suddenly, all of a sudden, there's this flow of emotionality. Okay, now I want to see what the tea leaves are going to say about that. Like, what exactly is happening? Now, we have the little heart right in the middle, so I imagine this might be something involving love. Some kind of love. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it might be. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And also, if you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Definitely shout it out. Okay, so we have a person right here. You can see the body and the legs. They're in a very strong stance, right? Really trying to keep their balance, grabbing the tail of a cat. It looks like they have the cat by the tail. Now, I don't think that this is in real life. No animals being harmed. Of course not. But what the cat represents is individuality, independence, autonomy. Okay? So, yeah, I feel like all of a sudden in your life, you're going about your business, you're living your, in your flow state, you're focused on work, you're focused on family, devoted to whatever it is that brings you passion, that you have interest in. And suddenly something happens, right? There's a falling out. There's infidelity. There's like hey, I want a divorce, or on the flip side of things, right? It could be, hey, I'm pregnant. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Would you like to go out on a date? These kinds of things where it is a doorway into another room that is like another state of being. You are in a transitional place in your life. If you know it or not, it's happening right now. It's beginning, or it's begun. Or maybe you've already stepped through that door and you are starting on the other side. But what I'm seeing here is that whatever it is, and I think this is a very Cancer vibe. Yeah, it makes sense to me. There's a little bit of feeling lost in it all, right? Feeling like, oh, there's this tidal wave of emotionality, good or bad, or both, or, a little of each. And I'm getting swept away in not only my own emotions, but the emotions of people around me. And I feel unable to honor my independence. Okay? There is a sense of really feeling drawn into somebody very closely. And listen, if this is a thing where it's like, I thought everything was cool, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm being accused of cheating or whatever, and I have to, like, you know, try to prove myself or whatever. However you do that. And I'm trapped in this web of somebody's emotions, of somebody's fears and paranoia. And I kind of resent that because, listen, I was going about my business. I wasn't doing anything wrong. On the other side, it could be like, yeah, guess what? We're pregnant. And you think, oh my gosh, how wonderful. What a blessing. But also, you know, the time, the effort, the things that are going to change. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit of fear, a little bit of resentment. Things are fine. Everything was good. We got into this beautiful place where, you know, it was all balanced, and I could work, and I could have my home life and my relationship, and also have time for myself and my interests and hobbies and responsibilities, the chores and everything else. And now here it is, this blessing, this wonderful thing. But I'm feeling like my autonomy, my individuality, my independence is being pulled in, right? I could see a Cancer person being very conflicted by this. Well, anybody really, but a Cancer person especially, because you value your time, your personal time, your ability to really immerse yourself in whatever you're into. I think of a Cancer person, in my mind, this is always my vision of a Cancer. You know, studying, having a bunch of books open, and you're looking and you're cross-referencing, and you have like the oh gosh, what's that guy's name from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? What is the guy's name? Charlie. That meme where Charlie, he has the wall of conspiracy stuff and like the yarn this, there, and everywhere. And listen, I'm not coming down on you, Cancer, because Cancers, I don't choose favorites, but I kind of do. Cancers are my favorite people. And my shout out to my husband. My husband is a Cancer. But yeah, getting really immersed in wherever your mind is taking you, wherever your heart is taking you, whatever you're super involved in, right? Like a Cancer person to me would be like, you know, that true crime community, the web sleuthing. Right? People who are not only just like me, I'm just watching true crime documentaries, but then there are like communities of people who are actually solving crimes, right? They're out there digging through the files, finding witnesses, getting evidence, whatever, right? And literally have solved murders, old ones, right? And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, the M word. Oh, well, I said it a few times. But, and I'm allowed to say it, but the algorithm doesn't like it. And so, anyways, yes, I could see like a Cancer person being like one of these like web sleuths or like a PI or, you know, just somebody who's really, really devoted to something. And so when these life situations come up, good or bad, right? It's like it kind of pulls you out of that place. And it's almost kind of like, why are you bothering me with this? You know? And not that having a kid is a bother, of course. But yeah, being like having to refocus your life. And that can be really difficult. Absolutely. Okay? So let's continue on. I want to see what else we have going on here. It looks like we have A-B, or maybe it's A-V. A-V. And that could be a name. Now, we also have the goddess up here. So let me just talk about her. This is one of the primordial goddesses, right? The goddesses of primitive times, so-called primitive times. A goddess that is usually kind of called like a fertility goddess. I feel like any feminine form of like a statue, whatever they find from, you know, the Paleolithic or, you know, the pre-modern era, always a fertility goddess, or something like, I know they just found recently a Canaanite, I think, was it a Canaanite statue of a goddess's head with a snake on it, right? So then they're saying this is a serpent priestess. So they're always like fertility or priestess or goddess, you know, whatever. So I'm looking at it though, and I'm looking at this as kind of the great mother. Okay, you can see the arms raised, the head, the body, kind of full figured. We know that that kind of represents in you know, the study of these things, often motherhood, okay? We also have a person on a horse here. And so, I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like there's just such a, almost kind of, whatever is happening, and you know, it could, like I said, it could be something that's super positive. It could be something that it feels really negative. It doesn't, I feel like in this moment, in this very like specific moment in your life, it doesn't matter because they both feel super stressful. And that's not to say that it's always going to feel that way, but it's almost this feeling of wanting your mom, right? I want my mom. I want some kind of guidance. I need some kind of help here. I'm at a loss. I don't really know what to do with myself. And I feel like maybe mom is either transitioned already, passed away, and there is a feeling of that being missing, or maybe you are estranged, or you just have a really strained relationship. It might be that your mother, your physical mother who raised you, or maybe your mother was not in your life growing up, or, you know, minimally in your life. Whatever it is, I feel like there's like this hole in your heart to some degree. And I wonder if part of the anxiety of these big life changes comes from growing up without that support system, feeling safe in that dynamic with a mother. And so I feel like, you know, you lean towards this greater understanding of the archetypal mother, of the great mother, of the goddess. And that maybe at times is kind of difficult. There's maybe even a sense of resentment there. And I think part of that is feeling abandoned or neglected in some way. Feeling like you could never fully connect with that first feminine energy that you had in your life. And that has kind of caused maybe like a ripple in your life where, you know, it's hard. It's hard to have these big life events because you feel like you're going through them alone, even when you're not. Because there's just this almost inability, I feel like, to connect on the deepest levels. And I don't think it's an inability. It's just that you found it hard to get to that place. And I feel like this is maybe part of your life's work, is figuring out how to undo some of the trauma, right? Some of the feelings of maybe being rejected or neglected or abandoned, forgotten or ignored by mother. trying not to bring that into your life presently, right? Trying to kind of recode some of your emotions and the way that you experience them. And I think that the work is with this goddess figure, right? Or if it's not a goddess in, the traditional sense, a divine feminine consciousness. This maybe is even like in esoteric Christianity. There is Sophia, right? If you don't know about Sophia, she is the feminine aspect of God. A lot of people who are Christians and have spent their life in Christology in one, sect or another, don't even know about Sophia. But there is a divine feminine consciousness in even these Abrahamic religions. And I feel you very drawn to these kinds of energies because it's part of your self-healing journey, okay? So when we have these big life events come about and it's like, I wish I had my mom here, I wish I could just talk to her. I wish she could tell me something that would be helpful, that would put me at ease. And unfortunately, it feels like that is not accessible in this moment. Okay? So, what do we do? What do we do? And I'll tell you, my own mother, my biological mother, she passed away when I was 11, and so I understand in my own way what this can feel like, and and I'm not saying that you're going to have a kid, but for some reason it feels something like this, where it's like one of these profound transitions in life where it's like there was before and there was after, right? Like right now, I have a 4-year-old daughter, the love of my life. I can't even remember what it felt like without her anymore, but I'll tell you what, I was super scared when I got pregnant, found out I was pregnant. And I was an adult. I was like a full adult. I was 35 years old. I was freaked out. I had no idea what I was going to do, and I did. I wanted to talk to my mom, and I've been lucky. I've had a lot of moms in my life, but I wanted that mom, right? And so what do? Well, we can commune with them, especially if like you're estranged. And that it's not going to be a good thing to like really have direct contact, reestablish a relationship. What can we do? We can write letters and not send them, right? We can talk to them as if we are in contact with them. Kind of like talking to an imaginary friend, I suppose. And really, and this is more my move, I think, finding that motherly energy in our relationships that we have, but also maybe going out and looking for a support group, right? Finding a collective of women or people, it doesn't have to just be women, that people that maybe understand a little of what you're going through. Maybe finding a group of people who are doing spiritual practices together. My sister, she's involved, and I know she's not going to be watching this one. I don't think she has any. Oh no, that's right. My nephew is a Cancer. But yeah, I doubt she's watching this one. If you are, I'm not going to say her name. I almost said her name. I love you. But my sister, she's involved in like a shaman group. which let me just qualify by saying we are Native. We're Choctaw. So it's all right. But she is in like a shaman group, and she goes and they do, all kinds of stuff. They were like, I'm not going to put them out there, but they were doing neat stuff last week. I mean, just, like different projects together, and they do different studies together. And now we're both Virgos, my sister and I. She's a September Virgo, so I really believe that she's like way more extroverted than I am. I'm an August Virgo, and I would be happy if I never saw anybody ever again. Like, I mean, not, my husband and my daughter, of course, I want to be with them. But like, just something about us August Virgos where we're very introverted. I'll talk to you, but I don't want to hang out with people that much. You know what I mean? Not because I don't like them. It's just, I like to be alone, But my sister is very extroverted in a lot of ways, and also introverted, but, goes out and does these kind of collective classes and meetups, and she likes to go to festivals, and it all sounds amazing, and it sounds like it would stress me out. But these kinds of things are out there. And so when we feel like we're lacking something, instead of just existing there, and I don't have my mother, I've never had a good relationship with my mother. I don't know what it's like to have this mother energy around me in a positive way. Instead of letting that be the whole story, go out there and find your moms, find your mothers, because there's so many out there. They might be your teachers, they might be your coworker, they might be a lady that you go to church with. It might be, my acquired mother is actually my first husband who passed away when I was in my late 20s. I was about almost 30. My mom, who I call my mother, who I am very close with, and I see her all the time, and I've shared on here, she actually is struggling with Alzheimer's right now. So we're very involved with her and my acquired father as well. She's the mother of my first husband, and it's a weird situation, probably from the outside, but this is who has been my mother for me since I was, 18 years old or whatever. And so we find, and that's to say, we find family where we need it, right? We find our people and we make them our family. And they make us their family as well, right? It is out there. So don't let this be the thing that stops you from finding joy in your life. When you have these big life events happening and you want to enjoy it, or you want to be able to navigate it when it's difficult, but you feel like I need this thing that I cannot find, but it is there for you. You have to go looking for it though. Go to bingo. I don't know. Go play bingo. You will find a mom there. I promise you. All right. So anyways, we have the number 24. Also, it looks like a mirror. I'm just looking at this and it reminded me of like a mirror on somebody's dressing table or whatever. Is that what it's called? Dressing table? Where you sit and comb your hair and do your makeup and stuff. And we have 2 dogs as well. So I really feel like in this situation, it is so much about looking at yourself and being kind to yourself. Okay? Looking at yourself through the eyes of like a best friend. Okay? If we have good friends in our life, if you can think about people that you love, and if they were going through it, what kinds of things would you say to them? How would you gas them up, lift them up, be there for them? Now you need to also apply that to yourself. Absolutely. Give yourself that same love and you know, just unconditional support that you deserve, right? That radical self-love. Now, I do want to look over here. I want to look and see, we have these clarifying cards. I'm calling them that, but I'm using them for kind of different things depending on the reading. They are Oracle of the Radiant Sun. They're beautiful cards. And I'm just going to pull 3 of them. And I want to kind of see, like, how are things going to kind of play out here, right? What's going to happen? Okay, so I'm going to stop here. And I don't shuffle because I'm a messy shuffler. Companionship, enthusiasm, assertion. All right, so and I think this really does kind of just emphasize the same energy, the companionship and wanting and looking for that connection, right? And I feel I have a piece of hair. Oh, there it is. I got it. It was stuck in my mouth there. Some of the hazards of having really long hair. So we have the companionship. Yes. And I feel like this is exactly what we've been talking about. Okay. Enthusiasm. And I do feel like when you really do kind of get into this place where you are kind of opening your heart to this kind of connection, either to mom, maybe, texting her for the first time in many years, or reaching out or going for a visit or whatever, or maybe you're communing with your mother who has passed, or asking for some kind of guidance and strength through, kind of her, like a guardian angel. Or maybe it is that you do have somebody in your life who is like a mother to you, right? And you're really putting a lot of effort into that connection. Whatever it is, the companionship there leads to, I think, feeling a lot more confidence in the doings of your life, right? The things that are going on. Again, if it's a good thing, if it's a bad thing, if it's, a miracle, or feels kind of like a tragedy or whatever, I feel like your enthusiasm to really process through this thing, to really be there in the immediate now, to be open and alive and present in whatever's going on in your life. I feel like there is more of an enthusiasm to do that, to really, really be involved in this whole situation, not just kind of hide away from it. Go full crab mode and go, scurry off and keep yourself protected by disengaging. No, I see you really allowing yourself to go through this thing. Now, the assertion, okay? I really feel that ultimately, and it will be, and as I was looking at this, I saw there's a little turtle right there. On this one, you can see right here, a little turtle. I looked at it as it might be slow going, but I do see you really, really growing from this and forming like a deeper sense of self. And I feel like really learning to assert yourself in different ways within your life, within these situations that will inevitably arise, as you go along, as you are a living, breathing human being, having ordeals and having great victories and so on. Okay. Now we also have over here, it's the number 12. We have a little frog, and this one looks like it's Y-A, yeah. It just says yeah. We also have a dragon up here in the sun. So So I feel like we're in the year of the dragon, and having that sun overhead, which actually really is like this card. We have the dragon and we have the sun up top. It is a period of things becoming quite illuminated, okay? You really seeing things for what they are. And in this next few months, as we get to the end of the year, I feel you really coming to some deep understandings about life, but really yourself, okay? So if you like it or not, I feel like you are going through an individuation process. You have begun that. If you are learning about the individuation process or not, go look it up. You know, I feel that this is really a time where you are working through some of that old stuff. You are activating new parts of yourself and really getting to know those different archetypal parts of your personality, of your being, and so on, okay? A lot of growth. Ultimately, I also think there's a real renewal of faith here. I see a person kind of in this, you know, lifting their hands up to the sky. And above it, we have, it looks like a dandelion seed pod thing. You know, the ones where you blow it and you make a wish. It goes everywhere. It gets dandelions all over your yard. Which, by the way, shout out to the dandelions. I like them. I think they're pretty on the yard. My neighbors maybe don't agree. Yeah, making a wish. And I do. I feel like you are in a place where, yeah, things are really kind of moving in your favor, especially because I feel like you've been so proactive about this kind of, you know, self-evolution, this metamorphosis you've been going through emotionally, okay? So, let's see. We have one more thing here. We're going to do our gratitude affirmation cards, and these are from Purple Canyon. Oh, excuse me. I need a drink. I need a drink. It is my last reading of the day. My throat is a little spent. Here we go. So I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. I'm going to flip it over. It says Celestial Oasis. I am thankful for the celestial oasis of planet Earth. Our world is a source of life in our great galaxy, providing a nourishing atmosphere, gravity, breathable air, and everything necessary for us to exist. Practice. Look at the night sky and behold the vastness of the galaxy. Let a sense of wonder arise that Earth holds all necessary elements for life within our great universe. Yes. My husband the other night was like, we were in bed watching some YouTubes. I'm just like such a nerd for YouTube videos. Like I have a hard time even watching any other kind of streaming. But I've been watching all of these videos about like deep space and like the voids in the universe, these huge voids. And yeah, my husband's like, another void video, huh? And I'm like, I love it because, well, it's very interesting. It reminds me very much of like that Cthulhu kind of cosmic horror feeling. But it reminds me of how miraculous it is that we live on this beautiful planet, that it is a place that is conducive with life and this stabilization of our ability to exist. And that just it blows your mind when you really think about how much goes into even supporting one very simple life form, right? And we're not simple, but something like an algae or whatever. And to be such complex systems that we are as human beings in physical bodies, it just is absolutely mind-blowing. So I like to watch like these things about just how, well, really insane the universe is. It really does. It brings so much more meaning to life, in my opinion. So anyways, Cancer, I want to tell you, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, I'm going to tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself, and we will talk in just a few days. Good night.